It's 2010, I'm fresh out of high school, and they say you can make a lot of money as a software developer. So clearly, I have to jump on the bandwagon. Those intensive Pascal classes will surely come in handy now. And yes, I know the title says 15 years of development, but the one who had never embellished their LinkedIn profile should throw the first stone. Anyhow, it looks like nobody knows what Pascal is, but I found this site called 99 Designs, where I can do design work and the pay is really good. Forget coding, I'm just going to learn Photoshop and Illustrator, and I should be set for life with a design gig, right? Nope, scratch that. Apparently, all these clients are willing to pay me way more if I'll do the implementation for those designs as well. Okay, so I learned to connect to a database via PHP and perform some basic operations. Clearly, I need to update my resume now. I am also using this stupid little language to write code when the users interact with my web page. It seems fairly easy, so I guess I'm an expert in this as well. Life is good, I'm an amazing programmer. However, some of my friends are building really cool stuff in this programming language called Java, and they laugh at me when I mention PHP. Note to self, I should look into this. It looks like they were right. There is more to programming than what I'm doing. I should probably take this more seriously and look for a proper Java internship program. Okay, now that I found one, for whatever reason, I can call myself a junior software developer, but I get the feeling that this is a step backwards since my pay is half the amount I used to get as a freelancer. My head hurts. There are so many data structures I need to know. OOP this and OOP that, and how the hell could you write a 400-page book just about Java threads? Looking back, I was really terrible at PHP, so I should probably remove that from my resume. I guess there is more to my SQL than the basic selects I used to do, so I can't be more than a beginner here. And I know for certain I have no idea what JavaScript is. These front-end guys are working with frameworks like Angular, and I have no clue what that is. I think I'm getting pretty good at this Java thing though. I finally got the hang of the basics, and I built some pretty interesting apps using servlets and JSPs. Also, I spent some time looking into AngularJS, and I'm pretty confident I know my way around it. It's time for a resume update, and JavaScript is back in. Java 8 is out, and everything I know is useless. This is the first time I'm hearing about functional programming. Why would you need such nonsense? Anyhow, I suck at this new Java now. In other news, all my front-end colleagues are switching to this new library called React. Exciting stuff. AngularJS was indeed fairly limited, but I'm sure we'll all stick with React from now on. I'm spending a lot of time really learning about JavaScript's prototypes, scopes, and good parts. It looks like functional programming is not that bad, and I'm confident enough to call myself a full-stack developer now. After more than 6 years, a new version of JavaScript is out, and I'm reliving the Java 8 release nightmare. In other words, I'm bad at JavaScript again. Oh, and Vue.js was released, and people say it's the next best thing. I guess this is yet another library I don't know, and I'll have to learn. If on the front end things are bad, on the back end they are just plain terrible. Spring Boot was released and everybody is building microservices now. Yet another thing I'll have to learn, yet another downgrade on my LinkedIn profile. This will never end. Of course, the Angular team just released a completely new framework, and the JS world is a mess, and they keep changing their minds about what the best practices are. You know what? It's just safer to say I know some front-end stuff, but I'm not excelling at anything. At least my long-term steady relationship with Java is stronger than ever. I finally got the time to look into Kotlin, and the conclusion is Java is the worst possible language ever invented. It is a waste of my time, and it will never be able to compete with Kotlin. You can't call yourself a modern programming language when you release new versions once in a blue moon. And guess what? OOP sucks, so I don't want to hear anything about Java ever again. Spring plus Kotlin is the best way to build REST APIs, so I'll stick with this from now on. Also, Kotlin can be used to develop Android native apps, and it's all about apps these days. The number of tools I'm expected to know increases by the day. Apparently, I need to know to write a Jenkins pipeline and deploy my Spring backend via Dockers in the cloud. There are so many things on my dev stack right now. I feel like a fraud. I should remove the full stack part from my title. Well, I was wrong about Java. They recently moved to a twice-a-year release schedule, and they are really achieving some interesting things. I'll add Java back on my list, and I hope I have the time to stay up to date with it moving forward. On the front-end side, I finally decided to stick with React. It has a great adoption rate and a huge number of third-party tools I can use. Great stuff. It's like I forgot the last couple of years when I spent days configuring React stacks and trying to make libraries work together. Okay, I'm 9 years into this, and I believe I got the hang of it. React on the front end, Spring and Kotlin microservices on the back end, all in AWS using Dockers. Let's go. I am using Next.js for most of the front-end work and some of the back-end work as well these days. On the back-end, there are more tools I need to learn, but I can't complain. Things are pretty easy. Let's hope it'll stay like this. Yep, it's 2014 all over again, and the monolith is back. I guess I'll start rewriting the tens of microservices I have written and deployed all over the cloud. The only positive thing is that I can now remove Redis and RabbitMQ from the stack, since I never really got the chance to properly understand them. Also, I'm finding out that tools such as Dino make it really easy to write and deploy REST APIs directly to the edge. More cloud providers are offering edge function support, and backend as a service solutions are powerful and cheap these days. So I know for certain that my efforts to study and stay on top of the backend development for the last 10 years were pretty useless. Don't get me started with the front end. It looks like React is beginning to lose market share to some of these newer libraries which are basically changing everything we know about front end. So I expect all my knowledge will be deprecated here soon as well. These guys keep moving the finish line. In the famous words of Ruth from Ozark,
I don't know about
it looks like I'll never become the developer I expected, so maybe I should just become a YouTuber instead.